pivoting on to the latest transfer portal buzz, we've got a lot in terms of the quarterback situation. Tyler Van Dyke announces he will be entering the transfer portal. Will Howard from Kansas State announces he will be entering the transfer portal. EJ Warner will be leaving Temple. And as we are here talking right now, reports popping up that KJ Jefferson could be hitting the transfer portal as well. As we will be having some special portal focused shows once the portal opens. We want to see what the full landscape looks like before we really start nailing it down. But in this early stage of the process, again, only graduate transfers allowed to officially enter the portal right now. What's got your eye in terms of some of these moving pieces at the quarterback position?
So I really have to start at the top of a guy who a lot of schools were wondering, would he portal? And that was Michael Pratt. And in texting around with coaches yesterday, the feeling that they get is that he's likely to go pro. I'm not reporting that. I'm just letting you know, like, what other personnel guys who are they're preparing their board for guys who might jump in, might not. Like, they think Pratt is probably going to go pro. I think Pratt would have been the top guy in the portal at quarterback had he stayed. So that sort of knocks down the top level of this. You have Howard from Kansas State jumping in. That makes a lot of sense because they have Avery Johnson there, who will be already got playing time as a freshman. It's hard to hold on to two really good quarterbacks, both from like a playing time perspective and from an NIL perspective, right? I mean, if you wanted to hold on to both those guys, you're having to devote a huge percentage of your NIL to just two players, both who play the same position and really can't play at the same time. So that makes sense for him to jump. I think he'll be fairly coveted out there. Tyler Van Dyke from Miami, when healthy and when in a system where they kind of scheme it up for him, he's a guy who I think people still have belief in because he can throw strikes and he does have a good arm. He just doesn't always throw it to the right guy. So can you get him back in the system? Like Lashley's staff, who's now at SMU, did a great job with him. I think they understood what he was and, importantly, what he was not, and they worked around it. And that's important. EJ Warner at Temple is a guy who I think will probably end up in the Power 5. He's been reported likely to go in. I think you can't go in officially if you're not a grad transfer, and I can't believe he'd be a grad transfer after just 3 semesters. But
he's a genius.
That Kurt Warner grocery bagging, bootstraps energy.
And the last one, and the chat's already all over this, right? But there's a whole lot of people out there who think Riley Leonard's going to Notre Dame. Again, like, we have to kind of toe a weird line. I'm not reporting that Riley Leonard's going to Notre Dame. I don't know that he's going to Notre Dame. He's not even in the portal yet. I will tell you there's a lot of people who work in college football, like not message boarders, who think that is going to happen.
Can't beat him. Join him.
Does that so if you're Notre Dame, and let's say the number is, say it's $1 million. I mean, I saw Cam Ward had $5 million offers, right? Top tier quarterback. And you just came off Sam Hartman, who had way more success at Wake than Riley Leonard did at Duke. Like, Riley Leonard's, I love the kid. He's awesome. But he hasn't been the best passer. He's been an athlete. He's coming off a nasty, couple of injuries. Are you rushing to the table if you're a donor to get Riley Leonard?
I think it's just the price of poker, man. If you need a quarterback, you need a quarterback. Notre Dame will have a roster that they'll expect to compete for a spot in the 12-team playoff. You're going to need a QB to do that. Don't they open at Texas A&M? I kind of doubt anybody on their roster is a player who right now they have confidence in going down to College Station and winning there. So you probably need somebody. But I agree with you. Like, Riley Leonard has been a much better runner than he has been a thrower.
Isn't his sell the tools?
Yeah, upside.
Yeah, upside, tools, projection. That's what has everybody all hot and bothered because, as you mentioned, DK, the statistical profile is not like, oh, wow, this is one of the top quarterbacks in all of college football. But, let's think about, where the rest of that Notre Dame offense is, what that identity is. Having somebody that can scoot a little bit, I mean, that could work really well behind a good offensive line with a really good run game and, be able to make some throws on the go. I could see Riley Leonard working out better than at a place where they're going to go ask him to throw the ball 45 times a game and, just like drop back and sling it all over the yard. That it could be a good fit for Riley, and I would understand.
He also has elite sack avoidance numbers, and like the analytics guys will tell you that sack avoidance is actually a quarterback skill that is transferable. Like it transfers it stays with you even if you transfer to another school, and it really stays with you even in the NFL. So like if you look at this, take a look at Florida this year, right? Richardson, when he was at UF, sack avoidance off the charts. It continued when he was with the Colts. I know he got hurt on a run play, but whatever. Like Florida's sack numbers this year skyrocketed. Was the O-line that much worse, or was Graham Mertz just poor at sack avoidance? That seems to be a quarterback skill. So like Riley Leonard keeping plays alive with what I think should be an improved Notre Dame receiving core next year. I think I might be buying in. Like they didn't stay healthy this year, but I'm
have a new wide receiver coach.
Yeah, they are.
Yesterday. Yeah.
I'm surprised Stuckey didn't work out there, man. I thought he was going to. I was wrong on that.
Robbie in the tailgate says, where does a potential Malik Murphy fit into all this?
Well, he's not in yet, right? But yeah.
No, he can't, right?
Miami?
Is he definitely
Why
like
would you go to Miami if you're a quarterback?
Why? Justin Herbert was drafted high.
I don't know. No, I don't. Strike that from the record. Anywhere he wants to go is a good place to go.
You're going to give him the C+? I'll tell you what, it could be a great.
No, not that. Just listen, man. You know what? Maybe he goes there and he's the dude that fits. Maybe he's the guy that finally is the guy that breaks through. Because you're right, Danny. Justin Herbert did have a good career at Oregon. It just could have been better.
Right. It should have. I mean, you could argue it should have been better. Do you think Ohio State's in the market for a quarterback?
Yes.
Because I saw Malik Murphy. I don't have any. I don't know if I just saw it like rando. I don't think it was anything valid. But I saw Ohio State would kick tires on Malik Murphy too.
Yeah, I don't think Ohio State's just going to be desperately looking for a QB, but I think they're going to be if they can lure a top QB, I think they're 100% going to be in the market because like Kyle McCord is not CJ Stroud or Justin Fields or Dwayne Haskins, but he's not entirely, he's not bad. He's just not in what I would consider the typical Ohio State QB. So if they can get somebody like a Malik Murphy who they feel can maybe bring a little more mobility to the offense at that position, I think they'll be into it.
Would you unless one of the young guys takes a big step? Like that's kind of the unknown is what can Lincoln Kineholes or Brown, like if they stay healthy, can they take a bigger step? Cam Ward not officially in yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we're already seeing reports that he's got multiple teams offer him $1 million.
Cam Ward in a Hugh Freeze offense to me would be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So would Malik Murphy.
Yeah.
It wouldn't shock me if Cam Ward stays in the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, so you think he's gonna maybe go to the other side of the apple?
I was thinking maybe a little more side of the Civil War.
Oh,
interesting.
Where does DJU go?
I don't know.
Did you say DJU?
Yeah.
Oh, not Mateo Uiagalelei.
Right.
You're talking about
DJ.
DJ Uiagalelei.
He's on the move again?
I think so. He's going to be a grad, right?
He could be a grad, yeah. I mean, he's not in the portal yet. Like he can be a grad, and he looked a lot better this year than he did when he was at Clemson. That'd be an interesting one. You saw Dabo offered an offensive lineman in the portal?
I did.
Yes. Dabo. All right.
You know what? Sometimes you got to take some losses for people to talk some sense into you.
We dragged Dabo for some of this position. So, yeah, I'm glad that we get to celebrate Tabo Sweeney. He found himself a 6'6", 330-pound offensive lineman from the same place where Kyle Morlock was shorter college.
Mm-hmm.
So he went back in there. So, yeah, congratulations, Tabo. We are using offensive line was one of the positions where we said, hey, if you just picked up an extra offensive lineman or two in the portal, I'd have been able to help you out. So congratulations, Tabo Sweeney and the Clemson Tigers. You are in the portal era.
And if he only signs 3 or 4 guys, that is like Clemson fans should be celebrating, saying this is incredible news, step in the right direction. Because I do think once he gets a taste of it, I think he's going to see that, it's not so sour after all. Like it can be pretty sweet.
What about Dillon Gabriel? We take Mississippi State with him?
I mean, it makes the most sense, don't you think? Like if you're Jeff Lebby and you've kind of got to flip that offense a bit, bringing in somebody who's obviously very familiar with it and is a high flourish guy, not really the highest ceiling, but yeah.
Because I don't think he's an NFL guy. but I don't know. I could be wrong.
He's an NFL camp guy who's going to get a chance for sure. But yeah, I agree with you as far as his long-term potential. I don't think he's an NFL quarterback.
I mean, if you go to an SEC team as a transfer, you can probably get close to $1 million.
Which is definitely more than he's making his first probably 2 years, maybe 3 years in the NFL. So why not get a payday?
What about KJ Jefferson?
The
TCU
right scheme, yeah. Nebraska
reunite with
Kendall Briles
with Kendall Briles
and push Hoover to the side.
Potentially,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, we think KJ's not an NFL guy, right? Based on how he throws it.
Correct.
Yeah. Like other teams that run that scheme that he had a lot of success in. Mississippi State, actually.
Tennessee.
And yeah, but like I don't think Tennessee. Nico better be ready. I would think. I don't know. Jordan can. Like KJ's from Mississippi. If it's not Dillon Gabriel, I could see him playing at Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Or like worst case USF, I guess, if he wants to drop down, if Barry and Brown hits the portal from USF. I know that's one that other schools are looking at too.
Yeah, that's weird. Where's Byron Brown from? Is it?
Where is he from?
Yeah, he's from Raleigh.
You right?
Yeah. And that's where NC State is.
Yeah.
You know. Okay. All right. And
so
we don't think MJ Morris is back, and Brendan Armstrong's not. Oh, that's.
I was going to ask you about that. Are we done pretending that MJ Morris is coming back?
I tell you what, the NC State's NIL was very excited to announce their commitment from Casey Concepcion, who is, as we saw in the last 4 games of the season, the offense. The reason why they were able to get to 9 wins. So if you've got KC back and you can bring in a nice dual threat like Byron Brown, Robert and I could have some fun with that.
If that did happen, I actually think that Ja'Carri Brown at USF could make a lot of sense because like
leaves Miami quarterback go to the Bulls.
Right. And I saw Gabby Urruti a report that he is going to play the bowl game for Miami, but he's not a very good thrower of the football. But like in a spread it out, run around type system, that could work there.
Yeah.
I guess that his opinion is offensive to Danny.
Yeah, Danny's I'm out of here. Screw this.
D. Kane has had enough. Yeah. All right.
Who does South Carolina get? Like, are they going to need somebody, or are they going to stick with Sellers? Because I think they like Sellers a lot. Our chat's asking. I would probably roll with
there.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if KJ really fits in what they're trying to do.
Brad Crawford at 24/7 Sports. South Carolina is the front runner for Arkansas quarterback KJ Jefferson. Should he enter the transfer portal? Sources tell 24/7 Sports.
Oh, all right then.
So that must mean they think Sellers is not ready to play.
Right.
Okay.
So Jefferson goes bridge. And also, how about this? Big, like dynamic in terms of being able to extend a play. If your offensive line isn't going to improve, having somebody like KJ Jefferson could at least give you a better chance to keep plays alive or get positive yards.
Yeah, like they're going to need to make a bowl game next year, I think, for Beamer to feel good, long term. Like you got to return to a bowl, I think. Where does Vanderbilt go? If I had to make a guess, Simpson from Alabama.
Ooh, Ty Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
And Corey says, which Georgia quarterback will transfer? Vandegrift?
We think Beck's going pro, I assume?
That's what I was going to ask.
That's what I think. Beck might go pro. So, I mean, if he has a good enough playoff, I think he's had a great season. I think that his draft stock could go flying up the boards if he's really good in the playoff. Honestly, I might take Beck ahead of one of the 2 guys we talked about all year.
No.
I might take him ahead of one of the 2 guys we talked about all year.
Well, look, as Bears fans now, we which one do we want?
Which one of those guys would I rather have on the Bears next year?
Yeah.
Carson Beck.
Out of the number 1 pick.
Oh, the Bears won't have the number 1 pick. They'll trade it.
So we're trading it. Okay. Yeah. If we want to trade the number 1 pick and go back, I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Bears fan now. If you know this, at a solid area of Tom.
Mhm.
We are
Monday night,
undefeated
Bud
since
was
I became a
sweating it
Bears
with
fan.
me. Yeah.
Yes, I was.
Is that why y'all were texting so much?
Yeah.
There's a lot of we do not have a lot of Monday night football interest in the Cover 3 group chat normally, but Bud and Tom were dialed.
Mhm.
So